welcome to Career Shots episode 11. We have zoomed into 2016 when I got my first full time job as a marketing development manager at Bhau Daji Lad Museum, which happened completely accidentally, and at the same time, it happened very intentionally. I had applied for a speculative application at the museum because it was a multicultural hub. It was known for its forward thinking, for its innovation. Even as a museum, it was leading in the dialogues of contemporary art market, and generally, it was doing a lot of innovative stuff. So I'm like, okay, but you know what? Like, I want to work with a museum and help it connect to its audiences. So I had a very open ended interview with the director, and I'm very grateful for her. She still is my role model, Mrs. Tasneem Mehta, and she was like great. She was very impressed. She figured, okay, let's have you on board. And it was when I received my application, my appointment letter. It was written as a marketing development manager, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is amazing. At the same time, I got hired as a program coordinator for INTACH, so in Indian National Trust for Arts and Cultural Heritage. The Let's talk about now these two organizations one by one. What my role was there and how it developed further as well. My role as a marketing development manager was to understand who were the target audiences, who did we want as target audiences, what were the default audiences that were coming, and what were the gaps in our working. So I had to work with a team of curators who were on board already, who were working across education activities, outreach activities, ensuring that we have schools visiting, organizations visiting, the most like intellectually advanced experts visiting, international delegations visiting. So already a lot of it was there. The director, being a brand ambassador for the museum, really had raised the profile of the museum. So there we were good. But there were things like, standing outside at the gate while the visitors were coming in and asking them that, like coming across people who who are very well educated, well traveled people, but they would say that, why, I know someone and stuff, like I shouldn't be giving the entry fee of the museum. And guess what the entry fee of the museum was? It was 10 rupees. And people were fighting about, paying 10 rupees for the entry of the museum. There were days when I would talk to museum was located within the Baikala Zoo. It was the botanical garden, and a lot of trips sometimes used to come to the botanical garden but would not perhaps come into the museum. So I would have a dialogue with people just hanging about on the stairs of the museum, hesitating and wondering what is there inside, whether they should come or not. And then I was like, I had just come back from London, of course, even though I'd lived all my life in India. And I was like, what happened? Like, what happened? What do you think it is? Do you know what this is? And I was like, this is a museum. And then they were like, what is a museum? And then I said, okay. I actually had to Google. I'm like, a museum in India. I'm like, okay. It is a Sangrahalaya. Sangrahalaya is a word for museum in Hindi. And they happen to ask again and further, what is a Sangrahalaya? Sangrahalaya kya hai? And I was like, oh, now I have to literally spell it out to them. Okay, संग्रहालय ये वो जगह होती है, वहाँ पे बहुत कीमती चीज़ें रखी जाती हैं और आपको पता चलेगा मुंबई सिटी के बारे में. So I was like, here the precious history is there. Like, there are things kept, you can come and see, there are hundreds of years old, and you also get to know about the history of Mumbai. So, all in all, a very good experience. What I was able to bring in was perspective, the fact that we wanted to target a younger audience, so collaboration with PVR advertising, or trying to see that if we can digitalize the ticketing system in some way. So we got BookMyShow on board just for like changing, like have installing a backend system. First time collaboration for them as well with the museum, so very new. But I had a performing arts background, so I got performing arts programming started at the museum, which was until now focusing a lot more on contemporary artworks we and exhibitions. We had for the first time in the history of museum, and I think previously it's happened, but not to this extent. We started having movie shootings at the museum because I had worked in the movie sector before. I was able to be a negotiator and an interlink between the museum staff who were very scared about any harm going to the museum objects, and the film sector who was, very keen to use the history and heritage of the museum. So I'm very, very glad, sorry, to the impact that I could bring. And the lesson here is that no matter what you do, it all comes together. Skills are very transferable. People, management, understanding and working with different people, and opening yourself up to new experiences, up to new situations will only make you grow. There's no going away, like there's no feeling in any way that you're going to be at a loss here. There is a lot to gain, and there's a lot of perspective. And I'll talk more about this, I think, in the next video, where we are going to talk about what happened after, and what like what, at the museum itself, like where did intact come into the picture, and what was I doing with it. I'd love to continue this in episode 12. Thank you.